Welcome all of you to infinityspace corporate level subject number 3, advanced management accounting. Now, as you might be aware already, this may be the final chance that we are getting under the current syllabus. Of course, the new syllabus is out and it looks very interesting and very attractive in terms of students, but all of us whom we are comfortable, or all of us who have adjusted to the existing syllabus, if you are a student who is going to attempt it for another time, this may be very convenient for you. Or if you are going to attempt the exam for the first time, again this will be a novel experience for you, and at the same time it will be a journey that you are joining today with Infinity that will ensure that you will succeed on this journey. Now, management accounting, my dear students, is considered as one of the most difficult subjects in CA syllabus, in chartered accountancy syllabus. However, I agree to that to some extent, but I don't agree to that to another extent. Why? If you follow our course, if you follow with me, and if you can basically identify the key areas in the syllabus and focus on the subject content, you will understand the journey during the next 5 to 6 months is going to be very interesting, and it will ensure that you will end up with a pass, not just a pass, a good pass in your subject. Now, that journey is interesting, my dear students, but it won't be easy, right? I don't guarantee an easy journey because it's something that we need to work hard, put a lot of effort, study. You have to download the study pack. You'll have to identify, or you'll have to use or download the available past papers, and you will have to attempt a lot of model questions. You will have to go through all this theory. If you are someone who had already followed a theory, you'll have to revise it. If you are a new student who is studying CL3 subject advanced management accounting for the first time, you need to go through all the theories. So the theory knowledge will ensure one milestone in your pass. And on the other hand, it's about the practicing that we do. Now, I'm going to take you through this presentation today that will help you to understand what this journey is going to be like. Now, today we are on 5th of July, or we are at the beginning of July. So the exam date is not exactly confirmed, but I'll assume it's somewhere after 1st of December. So I have given the direction up to 1st of December. So beyond that, if you get few more days, that will be a bonus. So we do have approximately 145 days, but I'll say 150 days roughly. Now these 150 days, how are you going to spend? If you are a student who is studying only CL3, so you can allocate 100% of your study time for this. You may be a student attempting few more subjects in CASriLanka along with CL3. So you'll have to plan your timing, how to divide your time, and how to basically focus on different subjects continuously. So you'll have to have a weekly plan. I'll explain you on that. Doesn't matter if you are a new student starting today, a repeat student, a self-study student, a new student already started work. So be whatever the category that you are falling into, this set of videos and this set of live classes that we are going to have will help you. Now today's session is a recorded session, I know, but still this is going to give you an introduction and overview to the entire syllabus and get an understanding on the approach that you need to make to ensure that you come up with the expected result at the exam. Because my aim, my dear student, is to help you to pass the exam, to pass with flying colors, pass with your maximum range, gain knowledge on management accounting, apply it, but most importantly, succeed on your exam. So it's not that I'm just asking you to be a bookworm or an exam-oriented person. But succeeding your exam is very important in terms of your personal development, professional development, your career, your promotions, your next job or next opportunity maybe. Even if you don't plan to do a job, even if you are an entrepreneur or even if you want to do your own business, this knowledge is going to be vital. But I know most of you are like studying already. You may be following another degree or another course, another diploma, whatever. Plus you are doing CASriLanka and you are into the corporate level. And you need to know how to balance your time. You may be working, you may be going for an audit firm, you may be going for, you may be following multiple courses, you may be engaged with other activities. So how you manage your time is very important, my dear students, because even though it looks like 150 days, really speaking, in terms of hours, if you take it, may be very few. So let's not waste even a one day. Let's ensure that every day, few hours you are allocating for studies and few hours you are spending on advanced management accounting. You can have a weekly schedule. That's my recommendation. Within the week, I'm going to cover these areas. Within the week, okay, a video is uploaded, then I'm going to watch this video before the end of the week so that I'm not getting a backlog on the videos. And not just watching the video, I'm going to spend a couple of hours studying the relevant area in the study pack or doing a couple of questions, right? Maybe the same tutorial that I have given, or maybe from a past paper, or maybe a model paper. I'll be giving you other resources also. So those resources I'm going to use, and I'm going to spend X number of hours a week on MA subject, X number of hours a week on another subject, X number of hours a week on another course that you're studying, so whatever. So please manage it. Now infinityspace has thought about this. Some of you may be traveling from your home via public transport, or some of you may be like maybe using a transport mode where you are not driving. Now in that case, you might be spending a lot of time on the road. While moving to your office or university or wherever you are going, or coming back home, you can spend some time watching videos. So this will be available, so you don't waste your time, right? And after going home, you can maybe do some exercises. So you are studying at the convenient time for you. If you are a night owl, you can do it at late night. If you are an early bird, so you can wake up early morning and do it. If you get a free time in between while you are working, or if you are a full-time student, maybe at university you get some extra hours, you can watch a video, you can learn something. This online platform has provided. So we have thought about you and we are facilitating you to spend your time effectively, so that you don't have to sacrifice all other things. You don't have to spend your weekends in classes, both Saturday and Sunday, away from your home, away from your family members, away from your loved ones. You don't have to spend like that. You study at your convenient time. But studying at the convenient time doesn't mean that you are going to study very close to the exam, or you are going to study only if you want, only if you can. That's where the weekly time schedule is very important, my dear students. Have a plan. Okay, if I couldn't cover this part today, I'm going to cover it tomorrow. By the end of the week, I'm going to cover these areas. Have that plan. Make it a commitment, like a deadline at your office, like a deadline for a university coursework or a university assignment submission, like a deadline that you cannot miss. Have that aim today itself and work on that, then you will succeed. Now the syllabus, if I go through, I don't want to go through this in detail, but I'll just explain, because this, if you download your study pack, all of you are registered students, I believe by now, and all of you gain access to the student web portal, or just contact the CASriLanka. You should be able to buy it also, but you can download it now. So the study pack is available, the PDF version, the soft copy version. I have extracted certain things out of that. Now part A of our syllabus, my dear student, contains modern management approaches including target costing, Kaizen costing, life cycle costing, throughput accounting, JIT or just in time, and total quality management. So these are some of the modern management approaches available. And not to forget about, yes, so those things are there. Activity based costing is a separate chapter that we study in detail. Out of these things, I would say throughput accounting and activity based costing, examiner had been testing in the past a lot, which is not a guarantee that this time they will test it, because if you look at the last time paper just ended June 2025, some of these areas were not heavily tested, so it can change. Again, target, Kaizen, life cycle, you can get a kind of a broader question. I'll talk about the paper also. The paper consists of, the question number 1 consists of 10 MCQs carrying 2 marks each. Okay, let me write it here because I'll be just giving the introduction to the paper also today, right? Part A of the paper contains 10 MCQs at 2 marks each. So 10 into 2, that carries 20 marks. Then you get part B of the paper. This is the current structure that will prevail for December 2025 also. After December 2025, there may be certain changes with the new syllabus. 4 questions into 10 marks each, that is 40. And part C, you have the longer questions, the lengthy questions. 2 questions into 20 marks each, that contains 40, so altogether 100. Now this 100 marks is also allocated based on, like the examiner had been following the kind of like this weightage. 20% of the weightage is given for these modern management approaches, activity based costing, strategic management costing and value creation. Under that you get the supply chain management and value chain analysis. Environmental aspect of cost management, a very famous area for even the MCQs, and sometimes you get 10 mark questions also, right? Environmental costing or environmental management accounting. Learning curve theory. Learning curve theory, my experience is mostly it's a kind of what you call application that you get. It can be combined with something like project evaluation or combined with another area. Yes, sometimes you may get a part of a question where like learning curve is purely tested, but not a full question I would say, but it can be there. So overall weightage of this area would vary around 20% of your paper. So around 20% of marks will be allocated at the exam out of these areas. Now not every area is tested in every paper. If you look at the past papers, we'll be going through the what you call the history also a little bit, and I'll be time to time touching upon all these past paper questions relevant for different segments. So here you'll be getting few areas out of this. So we can't exactly guess which area, but we can make some intelligent guesses, but I don't want to take a risk. I'm always saying be thorough with all these areas, because start now itself, work on that, so you will cover. So this cost management 20% area, top number of topics wise carry a lot, so many topics, right? So but not all topics are tested in all papers, but you can get few of them for MCQs. Usual pattern had been out of 10 MCQs, about 5 to 6 MCQs from part A, mostly, not every paper but mostly, right? And maybe 1 or 2 questions or 1 question maybe carrying 10 marks or a part of a 20 mark question. So the weightage comes totally maximum 20. So 10 marks at MCQs, maybe another 10 marks somewhere in part B or part C. That's how it goes. Then planning and control part B carries 25% of the weightage. Little bit heavier topics are here. Standard costing and variance analysis, budgetary planning and control of budgeting, beyond budgeting, balance scorecard. Budgeting, beyond budgeting, and balance scorecard. Okay, budgeting, beyond budgeting. Balance scorecard is a theoretical area introduced by Robert Kaplan and Norton. Okay, but budgeting, beyond budgeting is also theoretical area, but budgeting and standard costing variance, those are calculation related, analytical related areas. Capacity planning is also a kind of mix of a theory, but it's not tested very much, but sometimes in some papers they have tested. It's not a very frequently tested area, but it's tested time to time. You can't ignore it. And responsibility centers and transfer pricing and divisional performance measurement, two important topics have been categorized under part B. So one paper, now last time paper, June 2025 paper, if you look at standard costing, variance analysis and budgeting, the weightage was too much. Not many questions from transfer pricing. But if you look at another paper, transfer pricing and divisional performance, you may get a 20-mark question, because the total weightage is 25%. Around 25% it will vary. Decision making, the part C carries 30%. The highest weightage of the syllabus is given here. Under that again you have a few topics. Short term decision making, CVP, cost volume profit analysis, or in simple we say break even analysis, right? Break even analysis, where break even point is where a business organization or a particular operation does not make a profit or does not make a loss. Profit is equal to 0, break even point, right? Samaprabedana Lakshya, I think in Sinhala. Okay, so CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis, limiting factor analysis, linear programming. LF is for limiting factor analysis, LP is for linear programming. Linear programming was a very famous area before 2015, but gradually the importance has come down. But still you get some questions, maybe like if you take 3 papers, 1 paper you get a question out of linear programming. Or sometimes it can be inclusive of limiting factor analysis also. Right, discontinuation decision and make or buy decision, the proposals. Right, short-term decision making where relevant costing theory is applicable. Relevant costing theory is applicable here, and with that we decide whether to produce a good or buy a good, make or buy decision. Whether a particular unit that is not making profits, should we discontinue or should we continue with that? A particular operation, a particular process, a particular business, we may continue or discontinue. Those kind of decisions we are going to make. Those are relevant for short-term decision making. Then you have long-term decision making. Short-term decision making, now we are going to take the decision very short-term. Long-term for a longer period, 5 years, 10 years, 4 years, like it's more than 4 years usually, 5 years or more. So you get this project appraisal questions, net present value, internal rate of return, accounting rate of return, payback. Mainly it's NPV and IRR over a span of 5 years, and different aspects of NPV we are talking about. Equivalent cash flow method and the least common multiple method, and going for like comparison of 2 projects. So lot of things, and even IRR, the internal rate of return. So we are going to talk. There are several videos of theory talking about the theory, and we are going to discuss questions out of this area, very important area. Because why I say very important, you have studied this at the business level also. Basics of NPV and IRR, you have studied for business mathematics or the business level as well. And this goes up to the financial and risk management, the corporate financial and risk management, CFRM, at the strategic level as well. Right, strategic level you get the financial management and risk management subject, right, CFRM if I'm not mistaken. So there also you have project evaluation. So this is right throughout the chartered accountant syllabus you find at various stages project. So how important that is you can understand, but we are going on to a bit of a depth in this particular subject in project evaluation. And you get pricing. Now, if I go back, transfer pricing and division performance measurement, you are talking about a decentralized organization where different business units have certain powers to make a decision. Pricing is applicable for any organization, how you price your product. So first of all, I am discussing the pricing theory. Even though the syllabus they have structured, CASriLanka is structured in this way, my order is different because without you knowing pricing theory, you can't do transfer pricing. So first I discuss about pricing and then move on to transfer pricing. That's the pattern, right? And then you get the big data for decision making, mostly theoretical. So you see again a lot of areas here, 30% of the weightage, but mostly you are getting questions of a project evaluation, sometimes pricing combined with transfer pricing. And these things, any of these things can come, break even or discontinuation, make or buy, linear programming. So it carries 30 marks. So usually 120 mark question will come here. 120 mark question can come from here. 120 mark question can come from here. So the last two area, question number 6 and 7, the part C of your syllabus contains mostly from one of the areas from part B, this the planning and control, standard costing or budgeting or transfer pricing or divisional performance, or anything out of this, the project evaluation or pricing or like. And you might get another 10 mark question or maybe a few MCQs and one part of a question out of these areas. So can be make or buy decision, can be a break even, can be a theoretical question on big data, it can be anything. 15% of the weightage is allocated for risk and uncertainty, where we are looking at probabilistic and non-probabilistic decision making. Like probabilistic decision making, basically about the probability theory and expected values. Non-probabilistic, you talk about the maximax, maximin and minimax regret rule. And decision trees, relevant for again probabilistic decision theory, but it's the decision tree drawing. This is a famous area for the examiner. Right, so one of these things can come usually, but apart from that you get project evaluation with risk sensitivity analysis. Now the examiner wants to balance the weightage. You have a project evaluation question and maybe 5 marks are allocated for sensitivity analysis, right? One factor changes, what will happen to NPV. So usually the importance of project evaluation, it's there in part C, and a small part is coming for part D as well. Right, so the examiner is balancing the weightage. If he really wants to test us, he can go for a 20 mark question of project evaluation, where 5 marks are allocated for project evaluation with risk or sensitivity analysis, and another 10 mark question out of any of these areas, maybe from pricing, maybe from big data, or maybe from discontinuation or break-even analysis or make or buy decision, something like that. And still, like if you do that, 15 marks here because 5 is going part D, 10 marks here, another 5 marks or another 4 marks or 6 marks, because it's around 30%, I told you, it's not exactly 30%. You can have a couple of MCQs also. So that's how examiner manages it. So here decision trees, probabilistic, non-probabilistic, project evaluation, sensitivity analysis, Monte Carlo simulation is there in the syllabus, but I haven't seen many questions recently. Risk management and TARA framework, again theory, but it can be tested. So we have TARA framework, we talk about the transferring of the risks, avoiding the risks, then it's like getting the risk being accepted. Okay, so likewise reducing the risk, transfer, accept, reduce, avoid. The 4 things that we can do on risk. Also basic theory on risk management we are still learning here, because then at the strategic level, the corporate financial management or risk management, you are talking about the risk management theory. And finally 10% is allocated for a working capital management. Usually this is a 10 mark question, but sometimes 10% can become 12%. Some percentage comes down from C or D. You can get a small MCQ also, but usually a 10 mark question we are getting from working capital. Working capital contains inventory control, cash management, debtors management, and a small part of creditors management, but creditors management is very rarely tested. It's mainly cash management or debtors management or inventory control. So these three areas can rotate and be tested. Every paper you will get a definite question of 10 marks out of working capital, because that's how the examiner will maintain the the balance in the paper. So this is an area definitely you need to study, working capital. Be thorough with all three: cash management, inventory management, and debtors management. Working capital is current assets minus current liability. So current assets mainly contain cash and cash equivalent, debtors, and stocks, the inventory. Current liabilities mainly contains the trade creditors and other creditors, but creditors management is also there in the syllabus. I'm touching upon that, but not much tested, not many things to test there. But debtors management, cash management, and inventory control, a lot of things to be tested. So you never know what you are going to get. Be thorough. Let's do a lot of questions out of these areas. So this has been the pattern in the last 11 papers. I think you can't see the last one very clearly, but I'll read it out. So cost management part, it has been around 20%. Last time paper it was only 18%. The previous paper 22%, June 24, 20%, 20%, sometimes 18%. So it's around 20%, right? 2%, 2 to 4% can vary here and there. Planning and control, last time paper actually 30% is there in my view, a bit more than 25%. Some papers 22%, 24%, some papers 26%, like that. Don't worry, this will be shared with you. Decision making, the part C, it's around 30, its weightage is 30%. It has been around last time paper 28%, sometimes 32%, sometimes 26%. So slight variation can be there. Risk and uncertainty, the weightage here is 15. This is where sometimes the examiner adjusts. Okay, if he wants to add one MCQ from somewhere else, now he has added more from planning and control this time. He has reduced the weightage on risk and uncertainty, so it has come down to 12%. And A also 2 marks, and A 2 marks is given for working capital. There's an additional MCQ. But working capital is also around 10%, sometimes 12%, you can see. This is an exceptional paper where you had a bit of a misbalance. Last time paper also there are some misbalances, but mostly it's in line with the weightage. If you look at the pattern, always has been like that. Now, as I've been explaining, one thing is about 50% is essential theory. So you need to know the theory. You need to know the theory, and you need to go through the theory in detail. So what is in detail here? All the relevant theory will be recorded and shared with you, right, every week, where I expect you to go through them weekly. Please allocate some number of hours. If it is 3 hours per week, 4 hours per week, 2 hours per week, I don't know. Depends on the video. Also, sometimes the video itself is around 2 hours. So you'll have to spend another 2 hours for the video and another couple of hours to practice those things. Every week you do. When you get close to the exam, you increase the time a little bit. Last month or so you can increase the time, but regularly do the studies, regularly do the cover the areas, then it will be easy for you. Because I know some students, they take it relaxed at the first couple of months and they start working a bit late. I also have done that, but that's not a recommended practice, because now the competition is very high, and at the same time it's about how much effort you put. You start from the beginning, you clarify, because once you get registered, my dear students, you will be added to a Telegram group where I will also be there. Some administrative person will also be there from infinityspace. You can ask any questions. So even offline, you can ask any questions. I will reply within the same day, or as soon as possible I will reply. If you don't get a reply, like, you can personally text me also via Telegram. I'll be definitely attending to it. Right? But sometimes if I'm having a live class, let's say, I might discuss it in the live class, but not every week has the live class. Every week you get the recordings. When we are getting close to the exam, I'll be increasing the live classes, where it will be like more you can discuss with me, you can talk with me, or you can ask any questions via the Zoom platform we are conducting. So you can basically chat with me, ask, clarify any doubts. Or let's say if you had asked certain questions that is difficult to be answered via Telegram, I will take it to the live class and address it. So that can be done. But mostly if it is something that can be addressed within the Telegram group itself, if it is useful for everyone, I'll be replying on the group. If it is some personal doubt a student has, maybe I'll individually reply. But don't worry, mostly I'll be doing it in the group so that it will be a learning for the others as well. And so please keep on that interaction. That interaction is very important so that you can watch the videos. If you don't understand time to watch it again. If you don't understand, watch it again. You can watch it multiple times, any number of times until your exam is done. From the date of registration, you will have access to all the videos uploaded. So you can, like the first video can be watched in even a million number of times if you don't understand. But still, if you don't understand, you can ask me. I'm there to support you, right? So I want you all to go through all these things very in detail so that it will be very healthy, and it will be very you'll be very comfortable with the syllabus content, right, by the time you reach the exam. Other 50% goes for practicing questions. So I have given equal weightage. You should know the theory, then you practice the questions. Now questions, I'm like practicing questions is the key, because one thing that most of us are doing is past papers. Even I'm covering past papers starting from I'm covering questions from the past papers CL3 and KB2 from June 2015. KB2 was the earliest subject relevant for CL3. From June 2015 onwards to June 2025, we have about 10 plus years, almost 20 to 21, more than 20 papers are there. But not all the papers, all the questions. There are few questions I'm leaving out that are not applicable for the current syllabus, but majority of them I'm discussing either as a part of the theory class or either as a part of revision class. All the theory students will gain access to the revision also automatically, so not to worry on that. If you have enrolled for the full course, the revision programs also you will be gaining access. But if a student joins the revision class only on request, like you can see how the theory videos can be accessible, but theory videos may not be available for the revision students. But theory students who enroll at the beginning right now will gain access to everything, right? Everything done until December 2025, the exam. So don't worry on that aspect. If you have any clarifications, you can either ask from me or either contact the management of infinityspace. They will be there to support you. Now, not just that, the revision kits of selected CIMA, ACCA, ICW questions. You go to the Chartered Institute library once in a while, borrow a book or get a photocopy if required. ICAW, you have a similar subject called business information, managing information. The names have changed a little bit now. I'll check and update you on that. Now, that is management accounting, similar to our syllabus. Then you have ACCA performance management, CIMA performance management, performance measurement rather, more relevant for management accounting. So you can refer those things. Those question books, they have the theory, the study pack type of book. But study pack, of course, you can refer our study pack and my tutorial. That is more than enough. CASriLanka study pack is now very good, and you can refer that, and the tutorial is given by. But if you want further reading, you can refer CIMA or ACCA, not a problem. I'm not promoting any other courses, but those are relevant for management accounting. But most important, the question books that they have. Now, there had been instances where similar questions have been there in the past papers. Now, when we are doing past papers, my dear students, it's very unlikely that you might get the same question again in another paper. There have been instances similar questions are there, but if you look at a percentage, maybe 20%. But if you refer these other sources like ICAW, England and Wales Institute of Chartered Accountants, where Chartered Accountancy is like having a bond created, and maybe CIMA and ACCA, even though they are competitive courses we know, but still for management accounting, there is a lot we can get from that. So refer those questions. I would encourage you to, like, let's say if you study standard costing and variance analysis today, get the question book from CIMA or ACCA or ICAW and look at the standard costing and variance analysis chapter. The questions, start from the simple question to go to the difficult one. You will understand a lot. You will understand a lot about the syllabus, the theory that you studied. So I recommend you to work on that approach so that you end up with, time to time I'll be also discussing model questions, and before the exam, couple of weeks before, you'll have a mock exam. So all these are going to help you to get prepared for the exam. So coming back, practicing questions, get the questions relevant for our syllabus from whatever the source that you can. Be it the British Council, be it the Chartered Institute Library, be it any other library, be it any of your friends doing other courses, right? Be it any other institute, not a problem. Get those. Be thorough with your syllabus, what are the syllabus contents, and look at any source that is relevant for that. You can search internet. Sometimes you will be able to download questions. Please do those, right? And if you get a question, maybe even outside CASriLanka, relevant for our syllabus, and if you are stuck somewhere, you can refer me. But if those references I made here, ICW, CIMA, they have answer books also. Please refer the answer book if you don't know the answer, if you are really stuck. Okay, practicing questions is the key to pass the examination. Fear for calculation related to mathematics and quantitative techniques. Now, this is one aspect why advanced management accounting is considered as a difficult subject. One is that fear for calculations. We are so afraid for maths and quantitative techniques, the numerical calculations. But you have the scientific calculator. You can purchase a scientific calculator like this FX 100 MMS, FX 100 MS, FX 991 MS. These are recommended ones. If you are like, I believe most of you are having calculators even by now. Okay, even by now. FX 100 MS, FX 991. These two are recommended. But you have other things also, FX 100 WS or something, 991 EW. So different ones are there, but I recommend one of these, or if you already have a scientific calculator, if it has the basic features that we want, please use it. Please don't waste your money on buying another calculator. Second point is lack of theory knowledge. Some people try to do revision and pass, but they lack the knowledge in theory. Please refer the theory. Please refer the study pack. Please go through my theory video. Listen to it. Compare with the study pack. Compare with any other note that you have. Compare with my tutorials, the PowerPoint presentations given in the summary form. Most of those presentations, my content is going in parallel with the study pack. Right? I'm not like, it's not the same thing, but theory is the same. Theory is the same. Right? Examples can be different. Way I present can be different, but theory is the same. So please be thorough. The first 3 to 4 months you spend a lot on learning theories. Last 2.5 months you spend more on questions. But have a balance on this. But that should be the approach. First gain the knowledge on the theory, then do questions on that part. So that doesn't mean you don't have to wait till end to last 2 months to do the papers or last 2 months to do the practicing questions. You cover, let's say, first of all, you cover standard costing and variance analysis. Okay, once you cover the theory, once you're confident, get the questions and start doing it. But you may not have done transfer pricing yet. Once you cover the transfer pricing theory, you attempt the questions on that. Once you cover working capital, you attempt the questions on that. So likewise, you can go on. So first of all, gain the knowledge in theory. Lack of knowledge in applying the theory into practical scenario. Now this you have to practice by doing questions only. This is where the questions, different, even why we do past papers, the thinking approach, you may not get the same question, but a question that requires the same approach will come. A thinking pattern is developed by, we get to know how to apply the theory to a practical scenario. So that application is required. Lack of commitment towards the study. So that I have been talking from the beginning. Have the weekly plan, go with that. Spend X number of hours for management accounting, X number of hours for financial accounting, X number of hours for any other subject that you study. So likewise. So please make sure that you, but gradually increase the time close to the exam, right? Even if you make 24 hours, I don't mind, but you need to relax a little bit and gain energy as well. But I know we may not be getting study leave all the time, where sometimes some of us may be working, some of us have university exams and other things. So whatever you are doing, basically try to manage your time. That's very important, right? Lack of commitment to the lack of practicing questions on the examination environment. Now when we are getting close to the exam, I recommend you time. So here the time allocated, if I mention you, right? Time allocated, if I mention you, it's about 20 marks. No, we are given 3 hours for 100 marks. That is 180 minutes plus 15 minutes of reading, but you are not allowed to write there. You can just plan how you write. So ideally 36 minutes here, 72 minutes here, 72 minutes here. But I recommend you try to finish this within half an hour. Try to finish the MCQs with half an hour. 1 or 2 questions might require calculations, but mostly you can, if you know the theory, you can answer. Just underline or select the correct answer. Not underlining, you'll have to write the number in the answer paper. Try to do these 72 minutes are there, but let's say 1 hour or maybe around 70 to 75 minutes, or maybe 60 to 70 minutes. You try to, I know it's not easy, but try to do that, right? So 100 minutes, by 100 minutes you have covered 60% of your paper. So another 80 minutes are there for you to focus on this. So make sure that the 2 big questions have more than 1 hour, right? That's my, and I don't recommend starting with this. You will easily spend 1.5 hours for the 2 questions and you are in a panic for the rest. Start with either MCQs or the 4 questions. Try to complete as much as possible there. If you really don't know something, leave blank space and come back and write later. But try to cover, then you are confident that before end of 2 hours, within 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 40 minutes, you have covered 60% of your paper, right? So then you have enough time to think about and write for the 2 big questions, because 2 big questions will easily kill your time. That's the pattern of the exam. So for myself, I don't recommend you starting from the 2 big questions. So, but here what we can do is under exam environment, you go to your, study room or wherever, or library or somewhere, focus on that time. Okay, I'm doing a question which is, I'm doing few MCQs, or I'm doing a 10-mark question. I want to finish it within 18 minutes or within 15 minutes. Time and do. First day you might fail. First day you might take 25 minutes. That's okay. Next time you try to improve on your time. Same area. Now I have studied budgeting. I'm okay with budgeting and stand costing. I'm doing any question under the time. So last 2 months you start practicing with timing. Firstly you may not worry too much on the timing, but try to understand the correct way of writing the answer. But towards the last couple of months, practice it with the timing. Exam environment is very important. So essential theory, we get it from the recorded videos, and recorded videos on Q&A is also there, plus few live sessions close to the exam. Now Theory, you get it from the recorded videos mostly, but if you need any further clarification, I can have a live class. But question and answers, some are covered in the recorded videos. Mostly I'm covering live sessions close to the exam. So please attend those live sessions in an active manner. In case if you miss one, of course the recording will be available, but I recommend you to attend the live classes active with an active participation, so that you can clarify your doubts. I'm available, like teaching in a class, I'm available face to face for your discussion, right? So I talked about these sources, revision of all theory with practical examples and model questions or discussions. On the mock paper we get close to the exam, plus model questions. Time to time I may be discussing certain exam type model questions, but mock paper 2 weeks before the exam conducted by CASriLanka. I recommend all of you to be thorough with your theory by then and attempt that also. That will be an eye opener for the exam. To all my students, your goal should be to pass the exam in December 2025. Allocate minimum 10 hours per week for MA. I am telling 10 hours, but you decide. It can be 5 hours, it can be 2-3 hours at the beginning, but close to the exam it can go more, right? Close to the exam it's like 3-4 hours every day. So you cover 20 hours per week. So average will come to 10 hours per week. Studying theory, watching recorded videos, practicing questions and attending live sessions. These are the key what you need to do. So I believe you understood what is exactly required here, but let's say, so I'll take y'all through the last time paper a little bit, okay. This is, as I told you, like the time allowed, reading and planning 15 minutes and for writing 3 hours. All questions are compulsory, total 100 marks. Section 1, 10 multiple choice questions. Section 2, 4 questions. Section 3, 4 questions. Closed book exam. You are not allowed to refer any notes. You are not allowed to copy. All answers should be written in English. So like, I'm not going to go through this thing, because anyway we'll be having a separate session to discuss this particular paper. I'll be specifically discussing all questions in this paper. Right, same thing I did for last time batch also. The latest paper I took the entire paper and discussed, but other papers also, whatever applicable, most of the questions I'm discussing. And this is how it looks like. I'll be sharing this with you all. Past paper analysis June 2025 up to we have up to June 15, right? Entire thing analysis. So what is there in this red color? This is okay. This red color ones are not needed. This one I will adjust and share with you all. Working capital management is applicable. And what is there in brown color is that with the theory questions, sometimes I am referring to certain past paper questions. So those are covered already with the theory videos that will be uploaded every week. But rest I am covering through separate videos relevant for practicing questions, and sometimes I'll be covering certain things on live paper. And there is one full video on December 2024 paper. You will be getting a couple of videos relevant for that. And I'll be doing another video for June 2025, which was like, the exam was conducted very recently. So that paper I'll be fully discussing, and there'll be a separate set of videos on that. So likewise, we'll have few live classes also and practice more. But please, at the beginning, go through the recorded videos that are shared. That will be very important to gain theory knowledge, because knowing theory is very important for you to correctly answer the papers. So this kind of a paper is there. These are MCQs. So every MCQ carries 2 marks. And yeah, so question number 2 and all 10 mark questions, right? So 10 mark questions usually we can quickly answer. Ideally within 15 to 20 minutes you'll have to answer one question. Don't take more than 80 minutes for 4 questions. Maximum 20 minutes. 20 is also too much, right? Try to complete within 18 minutes. So we'll come up to that level. So this, you see, economic equivalent NPV, ENPV, right? You know, the multiple projects being evaluated, those things are there. And last time paper we had is the working capital question, right? Over trading and all was tested. And we have question number 6 and 7, 20-mark questions. This is on standard costing and variance analysis. This time it was tested for a 20-mark question. And yeah, this is on further processing cost. That is also coming under the section 3 on, you know, short-term decision making and all. Further processing costing is there. This is still there in our syllabus, so that has been tested. So process costing you may have studied under business level, and further processing part only is applicable for our syllabus. So with this video, I think you gained a knowledge on what the syllabus is and what should be our approach for the next 150 days. What should be your approach, what should be your weekly plan, what should be your plan every month, and what you need to do to ensure you come up with flying colors at the exam. Please work accordingly, please work with me, please interact with me, right, via Telegram or via the live classes. Talk to me, ask your questions, clarify, make use of this platform to the maximum level. I believe infinityspace has arranged this platform with minimal data cost to you. Right, just check certain packages are there where there will be no data cost. You can watch these videos multiple times, and if you don't, unlike in a class, you might doze off, you might get distracted. Here you get distracted, you pause the video, later on you again go through from that point, or you again go through from a bit earlier so that you catch up what you do. Just like watching a YouTube video or watching any other video. So you can watch the videos and gain the theory knowledge. Watch the videos and practice the questions. Practice on your own. Refer my video, refer my answers again you practice again and again. And that approach you need to continue for the next 6 months until the exam is over. So if you are there with me to go on this journey, definitely I'll ensure that you will be a successful student. But it's 40% from my end, 60% from your end. I'm giving my maximum, my 100% is your 40%. Rest of the things are with you. The practicing that you do, the clarification of the doubts, writing questions, not just trying to understand, okay, I know this answer, unlike MCQ, of course, if you know the answer, that's correct. But working out the questions, do it in a piece of paper, do it in a book, refer it, practice as much as possible. Practice questions like you are in the exam. When you know the theory, you take that area, practice like you are in the exam within the time level, right, and without any disturbance. Focus, that is very important. Focusing is very important, my dear students. If you focus on your syllabus, if you focus on your question, if you focus on the study, if you focus on the subject, this is not going to be a difficult subject like most of the students say. I would guarantee all the theories are explained in the very simplest way. Right? Difficult theories sometimes, but I am explaining the theories in a very simple way, the most simplified way a student can understand. You will feel that difference. Please watch the videos very carefully. You will feel that difference. And still, if there is something that is not clear, you can reach out to me. I'm there to clarify your doubts. So please make use of this opportunity. After December 2025, it will be a new syllabus. You complete maximum number of subjects before end of December so that the transition will be easier for you. Number of subjects that you need to continue or complete under the new syllabus will be limited. And I would like to see all of you being qualified and becoming chartered accountants very soon. So for that purpose, knowledge in management accounting and passing this hurdle is very important. So please work on that. That's my all request. That's my session for today. and we'll meet up in another series of videos in the time to come.